It is now 8:38. It's Pete. I've got the beat. And when you want to talk to somebody that goes right to the top, it's Ben Brown from Community Bank. How are you?
Doing well. Good morning, Pete.
It's a pleasure having you here. It really is. I don't know how you do it. Do you get up early all the time?
Pretty early, yes.
Because you're always up.
We got a lot to do and a little bit of time to do it, right? So, we got to keep it moving.
I appreciate that. I really do. So, we talked about Community Bank and a number of things that are going on. And I do have to mention before you talk about some very important stuff here, I was going in and it was Brittany, I think, who was down at the bank. And she says, you tell Ben when you walk in here, it's like cheers. Everybody goes, "Hey, Pete," like Norm, It just so happened she said hi to me. There was a guy over here. He was doing some work. He goes, "Hey, Pete," and then there was a guy turned around and said, "Oh, Pete." And
look at that.
It was really nice. I left there and she said, "Just tell Ben the next time. It's like when you walk into Cheers."
So when do we do the Pete meet and greet at the Washington Community Bank branch, right?
I'll just sit there and wait for people to come in.
We can do a signing ceremony, right? Some autographs and pull out some vinyls. Maybe.
Maybe I could get in on some of their bank accounts when they sign it over to me, something like that. Just kidding.
Might have a problem there, but we'll figure it out.
I think that would be the problem. Now, let's talk about some serious stuff. I've always said you folks have done. I was doing a kind of a thing at a dinner. They had a dinner, and I was a speaker, and it was a nice group of people, and I was telling them about the history here. I mentioned Community Bank because of all the things you did for us during the time of COVID and how you stepped up for this community. And you're still doing it.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And absolutely, last time we were here, we were talking about some bank products and HELOCs, home equities, what those things are. And but I think it's also important to talk about what we do. So what when you take out a loan from the bank or you work with the bank makes money. What does the bank do with that money, right? So a portion of it obviously is, and it's very important to us, is getting involved in the community. And so we look for projects that move the needle is kind of what we call it, that make a difference, right? So there's thousands of great projects and groups and things like that. And it's like, how do you really think about it? Because I get asked all the time, how do you think about who you support? Who does the bank support and why? And so again, it's projects that kind of move the needle, that bring real value and help real people with real situations. And so there's two of them recently that we've gotten involved in that have just been pretty spectacular. The first one is a really neat concept. It's called The Way. So The Way, it's down in Waynesburg. And a group started a couple years ago. They bought an older abandoned building down in downtown, and they said, we really need a community center here. We really need a place where we can do education for small children, after school education, where we can do some reading type learning activities. We can do STEM activities where groups can get together. And so they started a fundraising campaign. They got a group together, working on their nonprofit status, and now they have The Way Community Center. It's under construction now, almost complete on phase one, but they've already got the programming going. So they're doing some really, really neat things. They're actually in Waynesburg Central Elementary School with first and second graders working on their reading skills. They have volunteers, so you can volunteer with them. You can go and help children learn how to read, which I don't know if there's anything more amazing to you, for you personally, to feel good about yourself that you did have made a difference in their life if you help someone learn to read, right?
For what I do for a living,
yes.
They used to have these things where you go to the school and you would read a book, and I did a ton of those because I think that's the most important thing you can do.
Absolutely.
For a young mind.
Absolutely.
Is to help them. That and as they get a little older, math and science and stuff like that.
And then teach them how to listen to the radio. That's an important skill there too, right?
Here's the numbers you want to remember. 95.3.
95.3, that's right. You'll be down there in the school soon, I know. But yeah, so, and they work with Greene County Parks and Rec. They do the summer day camp. So just a phenomenal group, a big STEM program. So the website is thewaygc.org. Or you can check them out on Facebook if you're in that area. So just a really neat program. So we recently got behind them with a multi-year donation to help for the funding for the renovations there, and really just want to highlight them. And we try to bring, when we partner with a group or a project, not only is it usually a financial donation, there's also volunteer hours that we do with our bankers and our staff going in and helping and serving. But then at the end of the day, it's also about publicizing and talking about what they're doing. We want to talk about the good things, right?
Yeah.
And the groups out there that are doing this good work. So that's been a pretty special one to be a part of.
Oh, for sure.
In the Waynesburg area. And then the other one we wanted to highlight, and this one's been in the news a good bit recently, so I won't go too much into it, but City Mission here in Washington, right across the street. It's a homeless shelter that really serves those in our community that have nothing left.
Certainly.
Right? I mean, they're at the as tough as places you can be. So the new women's shelter, of course, that they're calling Sally Sanctuary after
Yes.
Sally Mounts, the Chief Development Officer. So we also were able to get behind that with a multi-year donation to help that. And that's 50 women a night they can house.
Yes,
So,
that's an incredible thing.
It is.
It really is. And to see you get behind it, it's people like you and your organization, the community bank, when they do something like that. Yes, it's a wonderful thing you're doing. It calls attention to it, so maybe other people too will say.
And that's the whole idea too. It's how do we help bring awareness to what's going on in our community, because just all of us get wrapped up in our own lives.
Sure.
Me included, all of
Sure.
us, right?
Yeah.
What's my schedule? What am I doing? And sometimes just to take a moment, pause, take a step back and look around and
Absolutely.
say, if you've been blessed, right? If you're successful and you've done well, or, you got some extra time on your hands, sometimes it's time, sometimes it's money, sometimes it's expertise, right? Serving on a board at
Yes.
a nonprofit or something like
Yeah.
that. And, at the end of the day, we all live here, right? We're raising our families here. We have friends here. So it's why not dig in and find where you can make a special place.
I've said that for years. I don't know, 35, 38 years ago when they asked me about going to do the 2000 Turkeys board.
Yes.
Doing
which is a
that. And
phenomenal program.
it's grown.
Yeah.
But you're right. You'll go, I don't know if I have time but when you go, listen, there are people in this world that need you, whether it's hunger, housing, a community that needs the community center, kids.
Right.
How do you say no?
That's right.
That's what people need to keep that.
Well, too, and I think too, if you think back in your history with most of us, right? We probably benefited at some point from some community groups, some
Absolutely.
programs, some school, So people have poured into us. Now it's our time, to do that as well. And it's not a one-way street. It's not like, as you know, when you volunteer, and sometimes you're like, oh, the time, the hours, I got to go to this thing. But then once you do it, you usually walk away and you feel pretty good.
You feel good, and you're meeting other people like you,
right?
And
Right.
it does become for lack of a better word, like a love fest. You get that feeling, and it gets you a high. It really does. Yeah. You mentioned something first too. I don't want to forget about this. This was HELOC.
Absolutely. Well, yeah. How does banking work? How do banks make donations like this things? Well, that's again, part of the money that we make, we give back. So one of the big programs we have right now is our home equity line of credit special. So right now that's at 5.5%. That's a variable APY, annual percentage yield, for the first 6 months. Then it resets to Wall Street Journal Prime, which is currently 8.5 APY. But very, very easy to get into. It's a second mortgage on your home. And people use it for home repairs, for remodeling, for buying a car, for education, for anything that life happens.
Yes,
so,
sure.
and we had Dawn Zinner-Gotti, our director of our retail bank, here last month talking about it. It's been actually very phenomenal. We've got a lot of folks that have taken advantage of that offer.
Oh, good.
And so cb.bank is the website. You can find info there, or give us a call. The phone number's on the website, or stop into a branch. And any of our folks like Brittany, who's our branch manager here in Washington, she can take care of you, tell you everything you need to know, and get you set up.
And I will tell you, and again, I go to this one because it's here, obviously, and I walk over, but it's faster than ever. And I will also tell you the people there have been just super friendly.
Good to hear.
So really,
that's what we want: efficient and friendly, and we're here to serve. So
Ben, thanks for coming in.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
It's always great to talk to you. It really is. So
Same here.
See you again soon. Here's Dr. John, 95.3 WJPA.